Mary, you'll go to Zoom and end it, and then at like 6:55, I'll start the next one.
Okay, so I just pushed it, I can handle that. If I can get stuck, I'll call you.
Sure, it was supposed to be a training today.
We apologize for.
No, you're good. I was driving by anyway. All right, should be good.
Thank you, Kara.
Thank you. Do not either.
Well, we're gonna call the meeting to order at 6:04. Roll call, Gary?
Here.
Karen?
Here,
Mary? Jason?
Here.
Ken Spicer's here. Everyone's here. Approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
so moved.
Karen's made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Jason seconded it. All in favor, say aye. Ayes carry. Previous meeting minutes of June 29th, 2024. Has everyone had a chance to look at them?
There were a couple versions, so the one to look at begins with call to order at 10:02 and ends with adjournment at 11:47.
Right.
That's the correct one.
That's the one I have. I have one question on that. It looks like under 5C. Discussion of the battery energy storage facility, there's a motion listed, number 5-2024, but no details. Was that? I don't remember having a vote on that. Should that be just taken out?
Let's see if we had it.
No, I don't recall voting on anything, but
I think that was just
So
discussion.
that would have been,
That was just sending them to the training, wasn't it?
no, I think it was going to have a motion. See how you've got moved to direct planning commission? And
That's what I
instead, we
read.
just changed it. to
Yeah, we changed the
discussion.
discussion. Yeah,
So there was no actual motion.
That's correct.
So good call, though.
So we're gonna need to remove the motion.
I don't have it on my.
Do you know what we're? Right here, this MOT 5,
Oh, okay.
normally there would be a motion right under that.
Oh,
We
yeah, okay,
expected a motion and we didn't do one.
okay. So that's gotta be removed, right?
Yeah.
that was the only thing I noticed though. Looks good.
Can I get a motion to approve the June 29th, 2020 special meeting minutes as corrected?
So moved.
Gary made the motion. Jason, you got the second?
Sure.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes carry. This is the time we're gonna go into the public hearing. This hearing is to consider objections to the proposed public improvement. We're actually looking for properties that, property owners believe it should be omitted. Or if some property owner thinks that you're missing something, that you need to add something. So we're actually looking for omitted and, missed properties. With that, we normally will give you a 3 minute to provide, objections. If you're gonna make, another comment, I would ask that you first, let's get the objections done, and then after the objections, if you got any other comments you wanna add, we can add that after that point. But right now, we're looking for, if there's any property or property owner that believes that their property shouldn't be in this, that they make their statement and let us hear what they have to say. Or if you have somebody else that isn't on the list that you want to put on the list, then ask for that.
And we would want everybody to identify themselves.
Everyone
They
should
speak.
identify yourself. We will be recording your name and that you provided a public comment. With that being said, I'm gonna open this for the objections at 6:08. No one wants to object to having their property in the special assessment district? Nobody's objecting? Can we end that portion of it then? Anyone got just public comments they want to add?
And a public comment?
Yeah, public comment.
Yeah, hi, my name's Chris Jepson, property owner on Saddle Lake. Been here for just about 10 years. I just wanted to show my support for the movement, we're calling it the assessment. I think it's for the good of the lake, of course, for the fishing community, for the property taxes generated by the property owners on the lake, for the township. So I just wanted to register publicly my, strong support. But yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yep, and I'm Jeff Post, I'm president of Saddle Lake Property Owners Association. Of course, we're proponents of having our special assessment, and we have gone through having a lake study that was completed with property owners donating that and having that done privately. That was not part of a special assessment, that was out of our own individual funds. That study demonstrated that there is a need for having continuous weed control on Saddle Lake to protect that lake into the future. And so that's why we want to continue with a special assessment for the invasive weed control, also to help with navigation of the lake, to continuation with doing harvesting on a regular basis that is put into the budget. That budget is on file here at the Township Hall. So we are all in favor of having the special assessment continued. Thank you.
My name is Tom Steffen. I'm on Saddle Lake. I'm a neighbor of Chris, and I concur with the gentleman here also that the situation on Saddle Lake is annoying. It inhibits the recreational value of the lake. I live in the northwest corner, which is abundantly filled with debris from the lake, from chop up and everything else like that. And it just detracts from the value and the use and the enjoyment of the lake and having a lake home. And, you know, it's a pain in the neck to constantly harvest weeds and get rid of them properly. And I just support this wholeheartedly. I think it's a necessary endeavor, and I hope it goes through.
Charles Aubrey. I of course support this because I think our property values and our pleasures are well supported. I wonder if there's ever, I feel sorry sometimes for the really small homes that still have to pay the same amount as some of the larger homes and larger lots. Has there ever been any consideration about having a minimum that some of those properties that are valued a lot lower than some of the other ones? I guess it would be a burden. I guess do you ever get any comments from people who object to it?
We're up here to take public comments.
Okay, I just-
You can talk to one, after the meeting, you can talk to one of us about that. We can answer that question.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thanks, Charles. Thank you.
Charles Aubrey.
Thank you.
Is everyone done?
And clerk, did you receive any correspondence?
No, I did not.
Last shot. Okay, I'm gonna close and exit the public hearing at 6:13. Township Board, any discussion? Basically, this would be the time that we deliberate any of the one that objected or objections to being put into the Saddle Lake district or additions.
I'm pleased to see how united, I guess, I'm seeing it.
They got a strong association.
Yep. Indeed.
No
Yeah.
comments?
I have a question. I'm not a lake person, but I do have what is the value? Are there funds available if somebody can't afford to pay the same assessment? Is there? Would,
I
according to your
think
question?
what we put in, is that for the special assessment, that it would be a $230 charge per property that's put onto the taxes. So it becomes part of your property taxes. You know, and I think that there's several ways that it can be derived at. And collecting for a special assessment or itemizing it, you know, I know that there's special assessments that are done per linear feet on the lakes. It's done by the size of properties. It can be done by value of properties, or it can be done just as one assessment. And for the past 10 years, we've had one assessment, per property. So larger properties get the same value as a smaller property. And that's what we are proposing for this special assessment also, a 1 fee per property.
I can tell you that, Attorney Bloom, who is the attorney for Michigan Lakes and Streams, I spoke with him a couple of years ago regarding this when I was in your position. And, he said 90, I believe 98, maybe not quite that amount of associations establish it using the 188 public access or the public rule. I may be using the wrong terms here, but and the reason it is that way is because it's less of a nightmare for administration purposes and for tax purposes. And it doesn't matter actually what he explained. It doesn't matter how large a home you have or anything else. If you have if you have public rights to, if you're a riparian, you have the same advantages of the lake as anybody else.
That's not the question I had.
Adding to this, so, you know, when you talk to the assessor for this, they're the ones that have to calculate it out. You're right, it is a nightmare to do it based on linear feet of property. Where that makes a difference is if a lake has a campground on it or has an RV park. There's a lake Selkirk Lake that's in Allegan County. One end has an RV park, the other one has a trailer park. The trailer park has 4,200 linear feet of lake frontage. They divided it that everybody pays per linear feet for their special assessment because it makes sense. But for us, we don't have those issues. That's why one assessment per property.
So my question is to address what Chuck was asking. So if you have somebody that's had a fishing cabin for years and they can't afford the $100 more, does the association have some way to, I don't know if you've ever had anybody have that, but is there something
No, 'cause
for
it's
that
collected
person?
through taxes. So I don't know what happens if they can't pay the property taxes.
I can tell
Okay.
you, when working in the treasury area, I have not had one person that I recall say, I can't pay that assessment, can I do something about it?
Okay.
And if I had heard that, I would have contacted the local board.
Okay, I was just trying to address Chuck's question, but I.
Yeah.
Any, board discussion? Anything amongst ourselves that we need to take care of?
I have a question. Have any objections been filed at all?
No. The only other thing I would like,
They don't send anything in.
the only other thing is that all the regulations and all the forms and all the percentages have been established, which will allow the assessment to move forward. So and based on no objections from anybody that I'm aware of either, I have no issues with it.
I personally think going through the lake restoration study we hadn't done that for a long time, and that seemed like a good idea, and that people are happy with some of the harvesting. That wasn't done much in the past.
There's no other board discussion. Would you like a motion?
I think we have to have I don't think there is any motion.
The motions, I think, are gonna happen at the board meeting, is that right?
At the board meeting, we're just gonna move on to the other one. I think you got,
Got a motion.
we've already, anything on here has already been done. The resolution's already been approved. Right? That resolution's been approved. All that stuff is approved. This was the hearing to hear any objections. And then when we
Yep.
get into the meeting, we're gonna approve resolution 2024-11, acknowledgement of presentation of Saddle Lake Special Assessment roll to the township board, and then notice another public hearing for later on.
Right.
So all that's gonna be taken care of in unfinished business at our next meeting.
Are you going to accept any objections in the next meeting?
This is the meeting for the exceptions. We don't take them after the,
Okay.
Doesn't that happen at the second? public hearing?
however, right now, this is really like board time that we talk about amongst ourselves, but I will say one thing. If you're out there and you find somebody that isn't on this list, that should be on this list, at any time, that can be brought back to the board to have that person included. But
Now, the list is which list?
the list
Objectors?
that you have provided to us of 205 people.
Yeah, and it was included in everybody's public notice.
Right,
There was a
that list is people supporting.
No, that is the
No,
people that
that's
will
the
be
entire roll.
assessed.
That's the entire roll.
Yeah, we got the total roll.
Okay, so, and I know I'm on this list. And I assume,
205 people are on that list. Not all of them signed
okay,
your
but
petition.
those people approved it or did not approve it?
This list
Not all of
doesn't
them.
say.
61% put in a petition. The 49% didn't.
Okay,
Then the 94% didn't mean anything. You got over 51.
okay.
So it's good to go.
And actually, they received more than that later.
And
So-
if they receive more later, then we'll probably update the percentage for our actual records.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you one more chance of public comment because it's on the paper. Otherwise, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting, so I'll give you 1 second. Time's up. We're gonna adjourn the meeting at 6:21.
But we restart at 7 for the next meeting.
Yeah. Thanks all of you all.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, all right, sure.
Morning. Hey.
They don't have control other than we collect the assessment and then we pay the people. So I don't know. Set up for how much someone came for a hardship case and stuff.
Signed petition.
Well, they're not, because they're part of the
30
subdivision,
grand.
so they're not on the lake.
There's 12 residents, so it'd be 4,000 a piece.
They have access to the lake. But
Okay.
Yes.
It's trying.
Sure. You see, by signs of property, really good.
That was decided, you guys had a planning commission. It was kind of torn. This was here since last fall.
There's more than that. Oh, that's just saying. Are we supposed to do a sign-in sheet?
I don't think you have to, but it was back there, so I thought I should give it.
Okay, thank you.
They already paid for their lot, but they got a public beach.
Well, no, but there's no backlash. What's that?
Right, it's all that, so what he's got, there is, so he's got that half a month. Thing that he's same exact. So, and so he's still get out on that.
Well, you can consider it, right, but you can do it. What do you do? Yeah. Yeah.
If you have lake access,
Right.
so everybody on South Lake, then
Is.
you should be. Part of the.
Because I tried to look at their properties, I cannot tell if they have access to that beach. This Paulette, remember? This Paulette.
So the back. You're saying a good reason to object to that subdivision.
But it doesn't really state.
I haven't said anything about it.
Yeah.
They should be considered if they have that.
From Sandwell, that would be good. From Sandwell.
Yeah.
All right. The last piece of information I had at our Saturday meeting, and that was, right, and so that's the last information I
You should take the Michigan tax rate.
Well, in that case, then, yeah, I'll have that. Right, well, it'll be modification.
You know where they're at.
I mean, it just.
No, there's still water.
Already did that. We need to get over there. Their lawyers. My job. Nice to meet you too. That's what I saw. I was like, I saw exactly what.
Right, well. It was a Toronto back. That's the one where. In terms of controlling. Whether intentional or unintentional.
There's literally, well, I didn't get out with the map that showed, okay, did you get the yellow Nathan? Professional like management.
Yeah, I think once we get it all, okay, you should call it your main property. Would it be better to have? We have a system, just scans in and touches in, or, you know, somebody touches the head.
Wow.
Here,
Well, on this,
on the time card, the thingy, and then, at that
Yeah,
time, so
okay.
time stamp of, oh, he was, it was normal. You do it that way, I mean.
So we have a little time for a break in between. Yeah. I didn't recognize.
My brother and I both have that address.
No, I'm
It's,
not.
it's right across the top.
I'm not sure who's-
Anything from?
I mean, think about, your time work.
I may have.
Okay.
Why are you telling this? Cause I can't share on this.
And they're, I,
Yeah, I was looking at that tonight when I take care of all my
Oh,
own
it's for
stuff.
that, for the payroll people, not our problem. Right, I mean, we supervise, we're not paying them, but
Thank you.
this is why they. Oh, sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Going.
Thanks for the cookies.
Yeah. Hey, there's so many different things there. Because I'm actually getting a new system for the classroom where
The like,
it's a little.
Yeah.
That's why they just finish the time.
I'm here for the next meeting too. Okay. So I'll make sure that this on the for app that has some yellow. Yeah, or stuff on that. Yep. Is that what you're talking about? There was that, but there was actually a yellow paper. It has the chemical name and when it was being treated, and all that. That comes from PLM, okay, Professional Lake Management.
I'm just saying, can I log onto their site and find a?
No, if you go on to the Satellite Property Owners Association website, there is a PDF of that on the website. Yeah, but I'll make sure that it gives me the other information.
When did you get anything to start
So we had a treatment that was 3 weeks before Memorial Day, and then we had another treatment, first week of June. They went to, if you would have, there will be another treatment to be done. Next week is a survey, and then the following week will be a treatment date for the weather.
Yeah.
Aside
Yeah,
from the
what,
Eurasian local,
right?
Yeah.
You remember everything.
what's the number?
Curly pond weed, curly pond weed, and,
I thought it was I thought there was, oh, so it just, it happened to be that everybody got on the same.
blanking on it.
Because there was a time when there
It
was.
smells like garlic,
Staggered.
starry stonewort. Starry stonewort is another one that's being treated.
Crap, Gary, you forgot to tell me to turn this off.
And it would seem as though.
My job.
I know, right?
Experiences that Curly Pond weed.
Yeah,
is-
there. End meeting for all.
It is.
I'm not
It
taking
really
that.
got.
I'm not either, obviously.